Okay, I have a really awesome picture to share with you this time. This is in Tahiti. That's me on the right, my daughter on the left, and I have tuna in my hand. We are at a river there, and look at the eel that we are petting. Do you see how big that is? It was 4 or 5 feet long, and there are some other ones behind it. They are blind, but they can smell the tuna and they come for the tuna if you put it in the water in the river. Isn't that cool? So I wanted to talk to you about the river of misery. This is the place between your unintentional model and your intentional model, where you are trying to believe the things that you want to believe intentionally and choosing these beliefs. And it's a hard place to be. That's why they call it the river of misery. And if you hate big eels, you might imagine some of those in there. I personally thought they were really cool. But so anyway, this is a hard spot to be, and just know that it's uncomfortable and it's difficult and it doesn't seem like it's working at first. It feels really hard. It's what you desire to feel, what you want your actions to be, what you want your behaviors to be. But so often you will see in hindsight what you could have thought, what you could have done, and you're not quite there yet. Just know that you've been thinking the same old thoughts for a very, very, very long time. And those thoughts are now you're trying to switch them or switch them about, and that's hard. So I think of a ladder because a lot of people need a thought ladder in order to go from thinking one thought in an old way to a new way. It's not just easy to jump from, like I said, I hate my body to I love my body. And in fact, if you try that new thought on, it won't feel right and you won't believe it. And so it won't work. So instead, create a thought ladder. And this will likely be a series of thoughts that you can work your way up to the one you actually want, from hating your body to loving it. But what you do is you put your current thought at the bottom of the ladder, okay? And then put a new thought that you would like to believe on top of it. If you're not sure what the new thought you want to believe is, imagine someone who has the feelings or the results that you want. What are they thinking and what are they feeling? Once you've identified the new thought you're working for, brainstorm some ladder thoughts. So these could look something like this. So let's say I hate my body, to I have a body, to I'm open to believing that I can learn to like my body. I'm learning to like my body. I like some things about my body. I am grateful for my body. I love what my body does for me. So each of those you're going to want to practice. You see why it can feel like a river of misery? It's a lot of work. But what you currently believe is just what you have been believing up until now. It's just been practiced. So if you want to believe differently, you have to think differently. And I'll tell you that nothing else feels better to me than when I do what I like to do. The easiest thing for me is to do voice memos, because I will listen to them when I'm in the car. I try to make myself listen to some of the voice memos, which is the beliefs I'm trying to practice. Um, Before I listen to my favorite songs or before I listen to a podcast I'm really excited about, just to remind myself that this is important and I care about it and I want it to work. So you don't listen to them when someone else is in the car. At least I don't, because that sounds like a crazy person. But I use my phone and I just record one time what I've written that I want to believe. And it can be paragraphs. It could just be like 12 things. It could be whatever, right? Whatever works for you and your brain. But one of my favorite things is I've been doing this work for 7 years, I think now. I love to go back and listen to voice memos that seem like I haven't listened to them for a while and realize I believe that thought and I can delete it. It is beautiful. It is beautiful to be able to lead it and go, I actually believe that. I believe I'm amazing. I believe I love and accept myself. I believe that these thoughts about this person that I've been practicing and practicing to feel about them, because they're driving me up the wall or I cannot accept them, right? Isn't this exciting? And so just remember that beliefs are driving your life, and problems come when we don't recognize these beliefs are just thoughts and therefore they are optional and not always true. And so just believing and deciding and accepting that something is true is awesome if it's helpful and you want to feel that way. So it doesn't make it true. It just makes you believe that it's true. Do you understand that? So if it's helpful, even if it's not true, you want to probably practice that belief. And I've done a lot of this work. And of course, there are truths that can't be disputed, but most of the, what would you call it? Background noise in your mind is open for discussion, is open for evaluation, is open for deciding if you want to keep it or not. So keep that in mind and do the work, because none of this is going to work if you don't do the voice memos or practice or have patience and continue to focus on this. This is just a lifelong thing. I think it's an eternal thing. And I can tell you that it's completely changed my life. And I know it can change yours if you actually do the work. All right, we'll talk to you next time.